Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming this evening. Adequate notice of the March 4th, 2010 meeting has been provided in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act by posting written notice and agenda of the meeting on the bulletin board in the Municipal Building, 1000 Route 10, Whippany, Township of Hanover, and by hand delivering, mailing, or faxing such notice and agenda to the following newspapers: the Hanover Eagle, the Morris County Daily Record, the Star Ledger, and by filing same with the Township Clerk.
On roll call, Committeeman Baramoska.
Here.
Committeeman Schleifer.
Here.
Committeewoman Arati.
Here.
Committeeman Pola.
Here.
And Mayor Sheridan.
Here.
5 members in attendance.
Thank you. Would you please rise as we salute our flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. See you. Before we start, I would ask that you please put your cell phones on vibrate. If you leave the room, please do so as carefully as possible. We will have a public session and input. During the public session, as you rise to the podium, you will state your name and your address. Would ask that you frame your questions in a polite and civil manner. We're not here to play gotcha, but rather to vet the issues in order that we obtain the best information. While at the podium, you will be allotted 4 minutes to complete your thought and your question. Again, thank you all for coming out tonight. This is a most important meeting. I want you all to know we on the Township Committee, along with our administrator, take this issue very seriously. By now, all of you should realize that I don't have many friends or relatives that work in the newspaper business. I offer each resident the opportunity to call me or meet with me if you needed clarification on any issue. Many have, and I hope many will continue. Our community is at stake here, and this is no time for political posturing. I know, and some on the committee know, you want us to govern responsibly, and we will. I find it unfortunate that the opportunity to review and investigate how our services are delivered and how our resources are applied found its way into the news media and onto the internet in what appears to be a very negative tone. The distortions, the ambiguities, and the misleading information circulated is disturbing. At the time the review was preliminarily discussed, we, the committee, had very little raw data, and we're just beginning the process of accumulating information through research that would help us make the most educated decision concerning A, fiscal responsibility, B, maintaining our quality of service, and C, working in the most efficient manner in the course of delivering those services not only provided by Recreation, Parks Department, but also our Department of Public Works. Additionally, the opportunity we are looking to evaluate, are we managing our resources correctly? This speaks to responsible government, not only in these very restricted economic times, but in all times when taxpayer dollars are at stake. I must note that we have terrific employees in both departments. No one on the dais thinks otherwise. We are not here looking to riff anyone. That was not the intent of the study that you are about to hear. Quite to the contrary. The committee, in the past 8 weeks, found unique and innovative ways to make more capital investment in recreation than has occurred in the past number of years combined, and we will continue to do so. I want you all to be assured that when I committed to be your mayor, I fully intended to lead in the most responsible, positive, and straightforward manner as is humanly possible. I have relied on my management experience and skills to guide our community through the most difficult times since the 1930s. Working with my colleagues, I want you to know we are responsible to you, our residents, and not some personal agenda that is seen through a political prism. I will now yield the floor to Deputy Mayor Schleifer and Committeeman Faramasca, who have dedicated hours of time and effort to bring you the results of their labor. Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to thank everyone present tonight for participating in this public discussion on the concept plan we've been working on to assess the merits of a unified Department of Public Works, Parks, and Recreation. Our journey began last year with discussions and a very exhaustive study by our own administrator, Joe Giorgio. The learning the Township Committee continues right up till today. I wanted to again thank our administrator, Mr. Giorgio, for his efforts and also acknowledge the contributions of the department heads, our staff, our crews that work so hard for us, and interested groups that have shared their knowledge in this process. Some of you may have asked why we even consider this study. Simple. We're looking at everything we can to improve efficiency and achieve cost reductions, and at the same time, continue to provide, or in some cases improve, the quality of service we experience in the Township of Hanover. Exploring combining parks and recreation with the Department of Public Works is not a unique idea. Other municipalities have done it with success. To not explore cost savings and how we deliver our services would, in my opinion, be irresponsible to the community that has elected us to serve. Let us start off with a phrase I have heard from time to time in our discussions. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, my response to that, it's broke. I'm not referring to the dedicated employees serving our community, the department heads, and all the staff. I'm referring to our budget. Our Chief Financial Officer has reported recently to all of us that we have now lost over $45 million in rateables. Our tax appeals continue and will add to that number. We have been given estimates during the process of our exploration that this plan would produce significant savings now and in the future in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I'll defer that to our Chief Financial Officer. We also speak of unrealized building costs that have not been planned, but that have not been planned yet, but keep resurfacing. I am speaking of the millions it would take to build a dedicated maintenance facility. At the very least, we can stop spending thousands of dollars on planning and drawings each time this idea comes up. In my opinion, the efficiency alone by combining into a larger force would result in more benefits both in the short run and the long term. So, what have we done so far to control our labor costs? Currently, the Township Committee maintains a hiring freeze. When an employee leaves our employment of the Township, we evaluate if others can absorb the workload. Replacement of lost employees is only done if we have to. We have initiated policies in both Parks and Recreation and the DPW to reduce overtime hours. Simply stated, we have taken the approach to run lean and mean in an attempt to hold down costs.